Hello guys, I have a scab thing that's red. Don't look at it. So I thought this video would start something like this. But it turns out my chemistry exam didn't kind of kill my brain as much as I thought it would. So I'm actually kind of semi-alive for book week, so yay for that. Also, do you like my hoodie? You may have seen that if you subscribe to my personal channel. Shameless plug, shameless plug. Okay, so book week. Okay, I would talk about my favourite book, but I don't really have one. I have like favourite series, which are Harry Potter and Wheel of Time and His Dark Materials. They're really good as well. So instead of talking about them, because they are quite generic, so I'm going to talk about things I have written. So I'm going to kind of go in chronological order. I haven't written anything properly in a couple of years because I kind of stopped when I got into my like major exams. So a lot of these are from when I was like 13, 14, 15, so bear in mind that I could have been like 13 when I wrote some of these. This isn't everything either. I used to write fanfiction. If you are a YouTube/fan, not that kind of fanfiction, you dirty people. I was 13. Danny. They were just kind of fluffy friendship ones, but they're all on the computer, so I'm not going to read them. I'm not even going to read all of this because this would take me hours. But I'm going to show you some of the stuff. So we'll start with this. It's Mini Sagas, which stands for Smart, Adventurous, Gripping, Amusing Stories for Southern Scotland. And I am published in here somewhere, so let me find that and I'll read it to you. The point of these were you were to write a story in less than 50 words, so mine is 49 words I believe. You can see it there. Don't know if you can. But if you can, I am age 13, so bear that in mind. I walked up the hill, my blanket wrapped around me tightly. I reached the top and began to walk away. I looked back one last time at my burning home, my past. A tear rolled down my cheek as I turned and walked away from everything I'd ever known. I was a bit disturbed. These ones are like novels that I started when I was about 13, 14, so again, they're not the most mature. This one is ridiculous. It's about some girl who runs away from home because her parents abuse her with her baby brother and sister. I think she's meant to be like 13 or 14, so I don't know how she managed to do this, but they end up living in a cave for a couple of years, and then she finds a magic spell book and then grows a pair of wings and then goes and joins an angel army. And when I looked through this, I found like another poem that I'd written, which I will read you. I was 12, again, bear this in mind, I can write a lot better than this now. As I sit here in the sky, I watch the world passing by. I watch so closely my family and friends and wonder when their journey ends. Full of sorrow they grieve and cry, say why oh why did she have to die? With them grieving more and more, I was sure that it would leave a score. But as time passes, it's such a scare, it seems as if I was never there. This one, I think I just had done a year or so later. It's a kind of weird fantasy take on racism, and you can tell I didn't go very far with it. It was a sort of alien race of blue people who were like residing on the planet, and the racism was more between the races, and they'd been driven into like hiding. This must have come out about the same time as World of Warcraft Burning Crusade, because it's very Draenei. Right, more recently, the first half is full of, this is plans for a story, so I have like, this was a fantasy, I did this a lot later, I was maybe 15, I was still way too young to take it on, which is why I never finished it. It's full of like, it's like a whole race and it's their history and what they believe and how they fight. It's fantasy. Character profiles. I have a map. There you go. Plan of what's happening in the novel. I spent months just planning this one, and actually all it turned into is this, which is like 4 chapters maybe, and a prologue. I was too young to take it on. I probably still am too young to take it on. I'd need a lot more time planning, effort. I probably will continue writing this one day because I've spent so much time planning like the fantasy world it's in. So we'll see what happens with that. Most recently, this one is a sort of teen novel, a totally different thing, as the notebooks. Exam procrastination. It's meant to be about like a girl band, and one of them gets pregnant and then gets stabbed and loses all of her memories, and then has to kind of go through, it's so stereotypical, it goes through a kind of process of having to relearn who everybody is and what happened to her journey to working that out. I think I wrote 2 chapters. Again, I don't go very far with it. And this one I have definitely got intentions to finish because it's a kind of simple generic plot. So yeah, that's everything I could find. I hope I haven't bored you too much, because I'm aware that I've just been kind of chatting. And now, because I don't have an exam till next Wednesday, I'm going to make a dent on my David Tennant box set. So yeah, have a good week, and Lucy, I will see you tomorrow.